I challenged a client a couple weekends ago. She didn't track her alcohol on the weekend when she was out with her friends and stuff. I was like, "Why not? You had it.
Yeah.
You crushed your week, you know? Go
It
out."
didn't happen, Matt. That's
Right.
why.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, "It still happened." Now we're trying to act like it didn't happen. So now you're creating that guilt shame cycle too on top of that, right?
Mhm.
So no. So I like next time you drink, track the fucking alcohol. Be
Yeah.
mindful of it, but track it. And
Mhm.
she came back to me. She didn't plan on having some drinks, but she had a couple drinks with her mom, I think, or something. And she's like, "I tracked it this." I'm like, "Fuck yeah!"
Mhm.
Now we're cooking because now we're starting to
Yeah,
create awareness.
exactly.
Now we're realizing like I didn't actually have 3 glasses. I had 6, and that doubled my calories. Right? That took me out of my
Mhm.
calorie deficit.
Welcome to Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt, the world's number one no bullshit health and fitness podcast.
Are you ready to cut the crap with your diet and exercise, get strong as fuck, and build a healthy relationship with food? Then you've come to the right place.
Let's go. If you'd like to support us in the podcast, join our Patreon where you get exclusive content, which consists of monthly workouts you can do at home or at the gym, monthly challenges that are either strength, habit, or mindset based, and access to over 100 plus low-calorie, high-protein, family-friendly meals. These are all designed by a professional chef who is certified in nutrition. These recipes are already in MyFitnessPal for easy fucking tracking. New recipes are also added each week.
We believe that fitness is for everyone, so this is our way of getting you started on your health and fitness journey at a price most everyone can afford. So what the fuck are you waiting for? We'll see you in the Patreon.
Nerdle alert.
Nerdle alert! We're about to say the same damn thing.
I know, imagine that, right? What is
Imagine
up,
that.
Matt?
Oh boy, there's a lot up, but we're doing it. We're in the middle of it. Today's a good day.
Good.
Yeah. What about yourself?
We're doing it. Today's a good day. The sun is shining, which I
Finally
am.
got some sun out there in Maine.
Yes, yesterday and today, and then it's going away again. So I have been enjoying as much as I can, and then we're going to get rain Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Dude, this weather
What
has
the
been
fuck?
wild.
How's the weather in Ohio?
It's been very, very all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, today I went out on a run this morning and it was threatening with rain. I think we're supposed to get rain. It still feels like early spring. It doesn't feel like we just had Memorial Day, the official
Oh,
kickoff to summer.
no, not at all. In fact, what's crazy is my husband just started working on the pool because, obviously it's fucking a mess over the winter. And last year I was looking at memories and the kids were in the pool before Memorial weekend.
No kidding.
And it's not even ready yet right now. It's so
Yeah.
fucking cold.
I mean, I'm wearing a sweater here today. I've been wearing
Yeah.
sweaters for weeks. We had a blast of, I think, a couple of days where it was like 85 degrees there,
Yeah.
but then it dropped again. It got down to 40s again.
It's
Very,
depressing, to be honest.
yeah, I'm fucking ready for it to be over.
Yeah. I need the sun. I need the warmth. It really does something for my mood, my energy. I mean, I could feel it for
Yeah.
sure.
The other day when I was on my run, I started when it was real gloomy outside, but as I was
Hmm.
running, because I went on a longer run, so I kept finding like little patches of sun were poking through, and I would just stop my run, and I was just standing there like with my arms extended, like, oh my,
Right.
this feels amazing, having that warm
Right.
sun on your face. It's a fucking
Oh, it is. It really is for
that
sure.
vitamin D.
Mm, yeah,
Mood booster.
absolutely. So what else is going on, Matt? I feel like I haven't talked to you forever. Matt has been MIA.
I don't know if I've been MIA.
MIA, but not there's something brewing. I don't know what's going on, but Matt has been I don't know
Well,
what the word is. I don't know what the word is, but
more, I guess, reserved, I guess. I've been taking some more downtime from, like, social media.
yeah, yeah.
So that's, like, probably one of the biggest things you notice, and probably a lot of people listening right now is, like, I'm not very active on stories. I wanna get back on posting on stories today, but I've just been
Yeah.
taking more intentional downtime from my phone,
Okay,
especially on the
good.
weekends and things like that. I found myself looking and just doom scrolling and things like that, so I had to nip that in the bud for sure.
Okay,
Um
nice.
yeah, but also, like, a lot of changes in my life right now too.
Yeah.
So there's been more stress and things like that as well.
Mm.
We could talk about that perhaps, some of the changes I've got going on in my
Do
life.
you want to? I
Sure,
mean,
sure. I mean, one of my
okay.
clients suggested, like, "Matt, this might be a good topic for you, like, how change is inevitable."
It is. It is. Change is always happening, and I think it's good for you to talk about what's going on with you and putting it out there,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Well,
Yeah.
So I've been pivoting, I guess, in a way with coaching. A
Mhm.
lot been making some changes behind the scenes, and also now at the front of the scenes with my coaching, and changing the way that we've been doing our coaching. And this has been working on this for a while now, especially over
Right.
the last year plus. Stopped putting more of a focus on like one-on-one coaching, and I've been working on building out like group coaching with our Fit Fat Strong strength training program and cardio
Yeah.
program with running, and then like our mindful eating program. So the result of that is, essentially where I'm at now is we're getting to a point where it's no longer a bit like a coaching business, I guess. And I shouldn't say that coaching business, but some of my coaches are leaving, right? So
Mhm.
there's no easy way to say that, and
Right.
it's not a bad thing. It's not. It's just this is where the current season of life is. So that's kind of, what I've been working on as well behind the scenes is this transitional period.
Yeah.
And so I've been really focusing more so on like clients and working with clients. And for me, that's fucking where it's at for me is
Yeah, and it's still a coaching business. It's Matt
yes,
Vandelar,
I
Fit
know.
Fat
I
Strong. I mean, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I'm like,
I
that's what
know.
you do.
I
You're a
misspoke
fucking
when I said
coach.
that. Yes.
I was like, wait a minute, but no, you're still a coach and you still what you do. You do what you do and you do it really well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, you're pivoting. That's all. You're still Fit Fat Strong Matt.
Yeah.
Nothing's
That's strong
changed.
man.
It's
For
just
sure.
a
Yeah.
little less people.
Yes, like, nothing is changing, like, with my coaching, my business.
Right.
I should say that, still
Yeah.
it's just I have more of an emphasis on the group coaching because that is one thing that I have learned over this last year of
Mhm.
Fit Fat Strong is I fucking missed coaching so bad
Yeah. Yeah.
and being hands-on with our clients. Because for a couple of years there, just like yourself, Nerdle, as I was growing my business, I had to take a step away from coaching,
Mhm.
and I really fucking missed coaching,
Yeah,
you
because you're
know?
good. I
Thank you.
mean, yeah, I feel the same way with and that's why I love doing these challenges. I do them
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
4 times a year and it
Yep.
recharges my batteries. I fucking love getting immersed in this, 28 days and doing the Zoom calls and answering questions every day.
Yeah.
I it fuels me. So
I
I
love being in
totally
the
understand.
trenches with our clients.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
It's
Agree.
it's just so rewarding. It is so fucking rewarding.
Yeah, that's why you got into it.
Yes, that's why I got into it. So I'm getting back to that essentially,
Yeah.
supporting our clients, working with, limited number of one-on-one clients myself.
Mhm.
Um, and me and Mel are still here too, right? So
Yeah.
we're putting a big focus on mindful eating. I've always had the mindful eating, but that's is really where my passions lie as well as with mindful eating
Yeah.
and taking that approach to like nutrition and behavior change.
Yeah.
So yeah, um, that's so there's a lot of those changes and that have been working been we've been working on for a while are just coming to fruition now
Right.
essentially.
So you're going through different you're like there's probably like changing systems and I'm sure there's a lot like to navigate
Yeah,
that
right.
way as well. It's just a lot to do, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure,
A lot
for
to
sure.
think about, right?
A lot to think about. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because here's me, I want to do right by everybody too. I want to do the best thing for everybody. So
Mhm.
uh,
Which is hard
it
sometimes.
is hard when you try to help everybody, you almost help
Yeah,
nobody.
I've learned that you really can't. There's always going to be somebody that's going to be upset, but you just do
Yeah.
the best you can and like you said, what is the word I'm trying to look for? Like you are a person of integrity and so that's all I can see you being. You know what I mean? So that's what I guess I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate that. And I appreciate you, you always check in on me. So
Oh yeah. I'm like, I haven't heard from Nerdle. I'm like gonna fucking blast him. How you doing, Nerdle? How you doing, Nerdle? What's up? Good morning. How are you? Like he's always so fucking annoyed
yeah,
by me. But I
yeah.
feel like sometimes you know what? You just need to check in on your fucking friends.
Mhm,
I don't
mhm.
know. I know you. I'm just gonna
Oh, yeah.
just keep making sure he's okay. Checking in.
Yeah, you're being a good friend.
Because if I don't hear from you, I'm like, there's something going on with my nerdle over there. He's fucking doing something, stirring, thinking, in
Thinking or just doing
it.
too, right?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the
Yeah.
times I'm just doing recently too.
Yeah.
So that's what finding that balance is doing and resting and everything too.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
hard to figure that out.
It is. It is. And,
Mhm.
like, my clients have been, showing a lot of support for the changes that are going on too, and, my one client, Amy, was like, "Matt, this could be like you something you could talk about on the podcast about how change is inevitable and change
Yeah.
isn't necessarily a bad thing. Change is a good thing, you know?"
Yeah.
And I think change is scary. There's a lot of
Of
uncertainty with
course.
change, and that's as it pertains to especially, like, for our listeners and our clients, like a health and wellness journey, change is fucking scary,
Mhm.
because there's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of variables that you don't have control of necessarily.
Right. And I'll take it on another perspective in the health and wellness area. This is a big change for you. And did you find yourself overeating, emotionally eating? In that aspect, did you stop like exercising? Because when things are hard for people, certain people, they just stop taking care of themselves.
Mhm.
Like, oh my gosh, change is happening. It's so scary. I don't know. I'm just going to stop right now until it feels okay. Just
Yeah, because
so
there's
I don't know if you want to talk about that.
talk about it in which way? About how like, for
Like,
myself or
yeah, yeah. So,
sure. Well, I'm actually the opposite where, I'm not like an emotional eater or stress eater, more so I'm a stress non-eater.
okay.
So, I have to be very, very intentional, very
That's like me.
mindful
Mhm.
to make sure I'm fueling my body and giving it the nourishment that it fucking needs.
Yep.
Because if we're not nourishing our bodies, that's gonna be a recipe for disaster in terms of, managing our stress and our
Yeah.
a big C word, cortisol and all these other things. And just our health too, you know?
Yeah.
Mm. So, yeah, right now, strength training is not up to where I would like it to be right now. 1
Mhm.
to 2 times a week right now is what I'm doing with strength training, but I'm still maintaining my daily walks, still doing my
Nice.
running. I have decided I don't think I was gonna train for, a marathon in September. I don't think I'm
Mhm.
gonna do that right now.
No.
I can't add that volume of training. That would be fighting against, like, my time and
It's an investment.
it's a big going from a half marathon training.
Yeah.
I could continue doing half marathons forever probably because
Right. Right.
it's
Yeah.
not a huge time commitment. That's like,
Yeah.
what, 3 or 4 hours a week in terms
It's
of
a full-time job. Think about it's like 30 hours a week of running.
yeah,
I mean, because I did it, and so I just remember, I'm like, my life revolved around, okay, what time can I fit my fucking 7-mile run in? And, they're not like short runs. They're like, all right, this day is like 15, the next is like 9.
right.
It's like, okay, you
So
literally have
recovery
to,
becomes an issue.
yeah, it's your job. It's and it's your focus.
Mhm, mhm.
Kind of like this bikini prep I'm doing right now, but because it is purely my focus right now.
Yeah.
Except it doesn't consume my time in the fact that I have to be out and out for 2 to 3 hours, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. So that's not something I wanna add onto my plate right now.
Right.
So what I'm gonna continue doing, though, is gonna continue running and continue strengthening my body and maintaining
Mhm.
my cardio and building my cardio base up for sure,
Yeah.
but more importantly, have fucking fun with it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed having the half marathon training because that half marathon training block I just went through was really intense. I would never been that so dialed in
Really? That's
to a
awesome.
goal like that. And I know what it would take to get up to do the marathon as well. So, um, just
Mhm.
listening and meeting myself where I'm at and recognizing that that's not best for me right now.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to continue running, and doing the fun things that I love about running, trail
Yeah.
running, especially with this time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Nice. We we got our San Diego trip coming up.
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna be here quickly.
I know. Do you know how many, reserves we have or RSVPs?
I don't. I could look it up while we're talking. Last time I checked, it was like 3. That was when we had first posted the link. Holy shit, 14. Okay.
Damn, alright.
We've got 14 people RSVP'd to it, so let's go. That's
Nice.
uh-huh, uh-huh. Amy, I see Amy Carlin on there. What's up,
Yeah,
Amy?
I am so excited to meet her,
I know, finally.
right?
I see Keisha on there. Hey, Keisha. Yeah, that's gonna be here soon.
July 12th, 8 AM, Torrey Pines. My fucking god, I never remember our hikes.
Torrey Pines Beach and Broken Hill Loop in La
There
Jolla,
we
California.
go, nice.
Yeah. So that'll be here soon. So we're looking forward to seeing the big group there.
Yeah,
So if you're listening, you're like, "How can I go?" Just go. We put the link in our notes, in our show notes, the last couple of weeks now.
meet
So,
and greet hike. Anybody is welcome. 3.1 miles, easy.
yeah, that's the goal, right, for doing these things, is
Mhm.
keep
Yes.
them easier, so that everybody can do it. I know a couple of
Yep.
the one we did in Oregon was a little not so easy, but
Yeah,
because of the big roots and
that
everything,
wasn't we didn't expect it to be like that, though.
but everybody crushed it still.
I know. For reals.
Crushed it still,
For reals.
and that's what matters.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Absolutely. What else do we have going on? I don't really have much other than that coming up, to be honest, because I'm trying to make sure that during this prep that I'm not traveling a million times.
Right. Totally. How's your bikini prep coming?
I just got done with a 4-day refeed, which was fucking phenomenal. I mean,
4
4
days.
day
Nice.
4 days, yeah.
Pumping some calories and carbs into you.
200 grams of carbs. Yep.
Nice.
And I felt like a new person. I was like, "Holy shit." Now we're back down a little bit smaller than I was before, not too much, like 25 calories.
Okay.
But it's a little smaller. So we're going to go a little bit smaller for the next 4 days. And so I'll have another high calorie day every 4 days now instead of every five.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
Good.
just going with the flow. Apparently like I'm doing pretty well because I've been consistent. So you kind of,
Fuck.
I don't, when you do really well, it's not like you get rewarded, but you're allowed more calories, right? It's like, okay, we're seeing a lot of progress because
Mhm.
the photos, the measurements, everything. It's like, okay, so she could use like some more calories. It's fucking cool. So just do what your fucking coach tells you, and you know what I'm saying? It's like
That's why you hire a coach.
action, results, motivation. And so, once you start to see that, it's really fucking hard, trust me, right? But now I'm starting to see results and the rewards from all the fucking literal hard work that I've been doing. And that is motivating within itself. So that
Mhm.
helps continue the process because it's like, yes, if I keep putting in the work, you do see results, but you have to keep putting in the work.
Mhm.
That's what people tend to forget. They think that it should be happening faster, or it's not happening fast enough. I'm not seeing anything. It's like you just need to be consistent and patient, and you will.
Mhm.
As well as I think I also want to talk about the fact that a lot of people think they should look a certain way since they've been dieting. And a lot of people don't understand that toning, right? If someone looks at me, they're like, "You've had a lot of progress in the past month." It's because I've built my
Well, that's what you're
foundation
hearing?
already, right? I've been strength training for 7+ years, and this last year we've really been focusing on this prep. So that is why. Not every person that you've never strength trained before, you're not going to ultimately see the body that you want right away.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people go into this thinking that they're going to look a certain way after dieting, but it's a whole fucking process of years of strength training to
Yeah,
put
if you
on that
haven't
muscle.
you don't have that foundation and you're trying to get toned, when you diet down, you're just gonna be a skinnier version of your current body,
Yes. And I hear that a lot when people like, I don't need to lose any fat. I just don't I don't look the way I want. It's because you haven't been in the gym.
because you're under muscled.
Correct.
Yeah. Which is a real
Yeah.
fucking problem in this society,
It really is.
especially, like, in our demographic, which is mostly women, right? Women
Yeah,
50, 60, things like that. They've been targeted these toning workouts.
I know.
The lightweight
Right.
workouts, right? The purple, pink weights, the 1 pound, 2
Mhm.
pound weights, we're flinging them around and
Yeah.
doing 'em high intensity with no control, and
Yep.
things like that because we wanna get toned. We don't wanna buff up. We don't wanna get too big. We just wanna be toned.
Right? It's hard to get too big.
No woman is gonna accidentally get too big in the gym, and men aren't going to get accidentally too big in the gym either.
Mm-mm.
Like, it doesn't fucking happen.
I've
You
been
have
trying to
to
get accidentally big for fucking 8 years now.
Right.
And I'm just
What's
like
the
still
secret?
like, Jesus fuck, man. I could still use more muscle for fuck's sakes.
Sure. Everybody can
You know
use
what I'm saying? Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's work.
muscle's like a bank account.
Yeah.
You wanna start making deposits into that as early in life as possible and as often as possible,
Mhm.
so you can reap the benefits of the long-term interest, right, of
Yeah.
having that big muscle bank built up.
Yeah. Muscle bank. I like that.
Yeah, so that when you do, like, "Okay, I wanna change my body," I'm primed and ready to go. But if
Mhm.
you're constantly going from one diet to next,
Right.
yo-yo dieting that same 20 pounds, you're just every time becoming a weaker, skinnier version of your current self, essentially.
Yeah.
And I say skinny in the context of, like, sure, you'll lose some weight, but, along with some of that weight's gonna be muscle mass, right? And that's not
Mhm.
what we want here.
And that's not always healthy. Like we talked about, I think was it last week, you can have a thin body and still be unhealthy. You could still be
Mhm.
pre-diabetic
You can. Yeah,
because you're under-muscled.
because you're under-muscled. Mhm. That's really especially with type 2 diabetes, that's usually what type 2 diabetes is. It's, too much body fat with not enough muscle mass
Mhm.
at very high level,
Right.
very high level. Mhm.
Yep.
And if you're a woman and I just got done training, but maybe we could spend a little bit of time talking about menopause as a refresher,
Yeah, I'm
Beth, since you're going through the fucking things right now.
mhm.
Um, I just did a kind of a impromptu menopause talk with our clients and like a Q and
Mhm.
A and just sharing people sharing their experiences because we've got people that have gone through menopause now for 10, 20 years and there's people that are going through it right now and are struggling. And so it's like there's a like things you can do, things that are going to help and things like that. But where I was going with that is as your estrogen's reducing, you're going to be more insulin resistance is going to be increasing as well. So you definitely need to be um, more intentional with your strength training to make sure you have that muscle bank built up, and also dialed into your nutrition too, like you are right now.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And, even like while going through this bikini prep too at 52, it just proves that it really is consistency and calorie deficit and making sure that you have a handle on your symptoms, right? Like I don't have any symptoms currently. I sleep very well. I don't have any night sweats. I honestly I don't have any anxiety. I'm doing pretty well at this moment. And so I've been able to be super consistent. Like I without, the fact that I've been a little bit tired because of lower calories, but I'm still getting shit done. I'm still doing the thing even when I don't want to do it. And so I just want every menopausal woman to know that it really just fucking comes down to you mastering those boring basics and being consistent, honestly, and getting a handle on your symptoms.
Hmm.
That's what's making it harder for you to stick to your deficit and get control of the alcohol,
Yes.
honestly. You complain about your menopausal symptoms, but you don't know how to put down the drink. We have a lot of clients that are struggling with this right now.
Okay.
And it fucking breaks my heart, you
Mhm.
know? It's alcohol is shouldn't be so important that you're not taking care of yourself.
Right. And two things that are super important for everybody, but are even more important going through menopause are stress management and
Yeah.
sleep, right? And
Yes.
alcohol directly impacts both of those things.
Mhm. Yeah.
That big C word, cortisol, right, gets impacted by alcohol and poor sleep.
Mhm.
The alcohol doesn't actually help with stress.
Right.
No.
No,
But yeah,
makes it worse.
maybe in that moment, but
Yeah.
after.
Mhm.
And that can
Yeah.
also help with where you're storing body fat too with
Yeah. Oh,
alcohol,
yeah.
right? When you're drinking alcohol, that if you're in a caloric surplus, not alcohol alone isn't gonna make you gain body fat, but if you're in a caloric surplus and not controlling your calories, then that increases the likelihood that your body fat gets stored in your belly, in your
Yeah. And that you're drinking, so you got the Belvedere bloat and you got the menopausal body fat deposit in different areas. So it's like double whammy,
yeah.
double belly. And unfortunately, and I can tell if I'm walking anywhere and I see a woman that has kind of like a reddish face and a really big belly that they're drinkers. It's like you immediately know they're menopausal and they're
Somebody that's a
drinking.
frequent drinker, that's got a very distinct look, is like that real.
You know if you've been drinking, your belly is pretty profound, and then
Yeah.
that's got to be uncomfortable,
Mhm.
to be honest.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you're not really having many issues with like sleep and things like that right now, but that hasn't always been the case for you. If we remember, like maybe just a couple of like a year or two ago on this own.
Yeah, like 2 years.
Yeah,
I think it's been 2 years in April since I've been on birth control. When I was going through a phase where I had a ton of hot flashes and I was sleeping like absolute trash,
yeah,
like fucking trash. And it was in Florida, 2022, if I'm correct, 2022 or 2023,
okay,
when I just was sweating all the time. It's fucking and shitty sleep. Yeah, and that affected my moods apparently, obviously. And so I went to my doctor and she decided to put me on birth control and not HRT yet. And she said at some point you will be on HRT, but let's start you with this. And it's been working. I have to say, other than some mood swings and brain fog, I take that back. I have massive brain fog. But that to me is like the least of my fucking worries.
that's one thing that our clients were kind of sharing on the call, just like the brain fog. Is there
Oh,
anything
it's
you've been able to
horrible.
do that's been helpful for that?
No. And
No.
I've been taking creatine for a few years now, so I don't even know, like, could my brain fog be worse? I don't know.
Hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? So,
Creatine helps with our cognitive abilities, right?
yeah, yeah. So for all I know, maybe I am doing pretty well comparative to what I would have been. I couldn't tell
Well,
you.
the Beth Menopause Chronicles have been you've been living them on the podcast for the past couple of years. So
I guess I have,
yeah, yeah,
huh?
sure. I can recall we've had many conversations. That's usually when we start our podcast. It's always, not always, but a lot of times it was about your own
Oh my
your hot
god.
flashes, your poor sleep,
Yeah. Mhm.
night sweats, and things like that.
And for all I know, I might even be postmenopausal. I don't know because I'm on a birth control that I continually take, so I never get a period. And maybe that's why I feel pretty good. I couldn't tell you. Yeah. And also, I think people need to understand that menopause is just 1 year. Actually, it's just 1 day.
One day,
So it's when you go a full year without a period. So you can't be in menopause for 10 years. That's impossible. You can be perimenopause for 10 years, which is when you starts in your could be late 30s, early 40s. You
hmm
start to get little symptoms here and there. That leads into menopause, which is going without a period for a full year. And so once you've done that, you're now postmenopause. So menopause is
that one
literally a
year
flip
anniversary
of
of
a
not having
fucking
a
moment.
period is the day, right?
Yes, exactly.
This is my menopause day, and now I'm
So
postmenopause.
you guys know you got to stop saying you've been menopause for 10 years because it's been impossible. I do the same thing though.
Yeah. I just shouted out the podcast we did with the menopause diet ladies actually with our clients because that's
Yeah.
they were the ones that told us that, right? Or maybe you already
Yes.
knew that. I didn't know that already, that it
Mhm.
was just really just one day for menopause, but I know our clients, they were like, "What?"
I know, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Did
Pretty
you hear that so
cray.
often? I've been in menopause for X amount of years, and I've been struggling. Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
been
Perimenopause is where most people
I mean, it's
that's
I
where
guess
all the
we're just
struggle is.
arguing semantics perhaps, but
I know, it doesn't really fucking either way, it sucks.
yeah, right. That doesn't discount that.
And apparently, some people will still have lingering symptoms after in postmenopause. And I got to finish my menopause specialist course right here.
There
I'm
you
like
go.
on chapter fucking 12, but honestly, it's everything that I'm learning is everything that I already know. And I think that's why I've been delaying it because it really is. I just need to get it done.
Yeah.
I haven't really learned anything new. Um,
Now, why is that, Beth? Why is it that you haven't
it's really the
taken
boring
men
basics.
yeah,
It's
you
really
haven't
the
really taken menopause?
foundations, right? Like they talk about fiber and digestive health and and protein and strength training. I mean, everything that I already know, right? And
Mhm,
how everyone has a different menopausal experience.
sure.
But really, it's really about supporting,
All kinds of
and
support.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
um, and what else? Like pelvic floor health, because things do happen like
Sure.
urinary tract, bladder,
Mhm.
reproductive organs, they drop, things get a little weird that way. But other than that, it is the boring basics, Matt. So when you hear people talk crazy shit on the internet about menopause, which has been going on lately with like the big wigs, like fucking what's her name, Stacey Sims and
What is,
Mary Claire Haber,
what
they love their rat studies. They love their rat studies,
what
and
is
they
what is,
love
Stacey Sims been saying?
ah that calories in, calories out is different for women.
Ugh,
Yeah.
why?
Now the people are getting pissed. We're talking the scientists are getting pissed now, and we're seeing people that don't ever call out people. Like
Yeah, that's how you know they're fed up.
the powerlifting dietitian. He doesn't ever do any things like that. And he made a whole post about her and how he's like can't stand she's not basing her facts off science at all and she's making women feel broken for no fucking reason.
Mhm, mhm. We know the
It's
reason.
absolute fucking bullshit to be honest. And people will idolize people like Stacey Sims. They idolize people like Dr. Marie Claire, and these women are using their authority for misuse. They're misusing their authority.
It's an appeal to authority, and that's
Yes,
a logical fallacy.
it's wild. And the fact that Dr. Mary Claire can get away with a supplement line of things that you can get at fucking on Amazon or Walmart. You need to take fiber. Here's my fiber. You need to take vitamin D. Here's my vitamin D. You need to take creatine. Here's my creatine. It's called like the pause or something. It's like, go fuck yourself. You're monetizing your fucking audience when you know you upped the price of this shit like 50%. They
Huge
can go to
markup.
fucking Walmart and get the same fucking thing.
Yes,
I can't stand that.
right. Which those are good supplements, right, for
Oh,
anybody.
yeah, that's exactly
Vitamin
like,
D and creatine are awesome supplements,
but you
but
can recommend them. You don't need to start a fucking supplement line and completely shiest your audience
at a
knowing that they
200% markup.
that you have them hook, line, and sinker, and they will listen to anything you fucking say, that's where I'm it's like, you're a piece of shit.
Does Mary Claire still promote intermittent fasting as, like, the end all be all?
I'm
Because
sure that's one of her books, it's her diet.
yes, her the Galveston diet, I think, is what that was
Yeah.
off of, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She even has her own weighted vest now, I believe.
Oh, really?
Like, if you catch me with a Dr. Mary Claire weighted vest, fucking just literally drag me by my fucking hands down the street and put me in a ditch, okay? If you ever, you know what I mean? That's
Throw that weighted vest on and throw you in the
fuck
ditch.
you, yes, just be done.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And it's so easy to see. It's so easy to see.
Yeah. And what's sad is like, and then it's like the people like us, they're like, well, she's a doctor and you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, fine, go buy her supplements, her weighted vest, and listen to her fucking bitch and cry that she didn't get on the fucking New York Times bestseller list. That's your girl. Go for it. You know what I
That
mean?
actually happened.
It did. It did. And a friend of ours that we know, I'm not going to name names, sent me the video. A few years ago when it happened. She's like, look at this shit. Because I already blocked her.
Mm,
She's been blocked since like 2020. And so she screenshot the recording and sent it to me. And I was like, are you shitting me right now? Yeah, she was in her fucking bed, made an Instagram story crying about how she did not make the New York Times bestseller list.
wow. Way to show people where your priorities are.
Uh-huh.
That's a
So
that's a big red flag.
yeah, super. And then when she went, it really started for me with her when she went after my friend Kim Schlag, which she's been on this podcast. And
Yes.
I don't know if you remember when that whole thing went out around where she was saying that you don't it doesn't a calorie deficit will not get rid of visceral fat. Do you
I
remember that?
don't
And then
remember.
so my friend Kim did a video and said the only way to get rid of any fat is to be in a calorie deficit. That's how this works, right? And Mary Claire like went after her so hard. She had all her followers go after Kim. Like
You
she fucking
weaponize your
tortured
following.
Kim. A-
She's got a big following.
yeah, and then so it was so bad that Kim actually got off TikTok. And that was the end of TikTok for her. It was so
That's
bad
so
the
sad.
way this woman like went after her about something that was actually Kim was right about.
Mhm. Mhm. That's just gross.
It was gross.
Yeah.
And so since then I'm like, I don't like you. And this was before all of it. So
I am finding this is not necessarily related to menopause, but definitely fat loss. I'm finding that fat loss is becoming more and more complicated and more confusing, and I didn't know that was possible because we've been doing
yeah.
and I wanna just give an example here. I reposted an old video of mine recently. I don't know if you
Mhm.
remember this video. Science with, Dr. Stacy, I think her name is? Shit, I'm gonna go look the video up really quickly.
Mhm.
But it's, the video is, "Where does your fat go when you lose it?" Is
Yes, I remember. Okay, so what are people
so I
saying?
reposted that video because it popped up on my memories. I posted it just on Facebook, exclusively, and Facebook is a kind of a cesspool sometimes for nutrition and fat loss information, right? There's just so much
Oh
misinformation
my
out there.
god, yeah.
The reality the video was, where does fat go when you burn it? In quotations, right? And I'm gonna clarify this by saying your fat cells don't go anywhere.
Right,
Your fat
right.
cells will either shrink if you're in a calorie deficit, or they will expand if you're in a caloric surplus. Your fat cells never go away once you acquire them. You can get new fat cells over the course of your life, but once they're there, they're always there unless you fucking get liposuction or something. But the moral of the story was you breathe out the fat, right? Like 80% of
Mhm.
all fat that you lose exits your body via your lungs in the form of
Mhm.
carbon dioxide. And it makes
Yeah.
sense, right? Because fat, it's got water for sure. So, like, we sweat it out and we pee it out too, but it's not as much as
Mhm.
people think. And this is the argument people are having. They're like, you don't breathe it out, you pee it out, you poop it out. I'm like, well, you poop out the food. You're not pooping out like fat cells, but sure, you're peeing out the water that's getting broken down in the fat when it shrinks. But also
Mhm.
that carbon that's being released, it got to go somewhere, right?
Right.
So it leaves your body in the form of carbon dioxide via your lungs. So you're literally breathing your fat out.
That's like energy in, energy out
Yes. Yeah.
because calories are essentially energy.
Yes. Right. Carbon is energy. Yeah.
Right,
We're
right.
carbon beings. We eat carbon. We are made of carbon. That is an energy currency. People are just arguing. It's crazy. And
Really?
yeah,
What are they saying? How can they argue with that? They're just telling you that it comes out of your ass and you pee it out?
yeah. They're like, so you're saying all I have to do? Well, they're like, are you saying all I have to do is breathe faster,
Oh my god.
hyperventilate? Like,
People need to
no.
fucking use their brains.
Like, you need to still be in a calorie deficit. This is what happens when you lose the fats, right? You still need to get in a calorie deficit to trigger this mechanism in your body, and then this is what happens after that. But
Mhm.
you can't even try to simplify things because that video was very, very simplified, and she even said that in her video, like, "Now, yes, I'm oversimplifying things, but this is how it works." And people are like,
Mhm.
"You're simplifying things. You're not like, yeah, she literally said that in the video.
Because if she didn't, you still wouldn't understand.
Right. Yeah. As science communicators, we need to
Are you smart? Are you smarter than a 6th grader? I mean,
that's the reality, right? Is when you're talking about scientific things like fat loss and calorie deficits, you need to break it down in a way that everybody can understand.
you do, and that's why me and Matt don't talk like we're fucking a scientist. We're not, but,
Yeah, we're not.
you wouldn't catch me. I talk to you guys like I would talk to my son,
Yeah,
and he still wouldn't understand.
and that's not to like patronize anybody, right? It's just we need to understand these simple, basic concepts.
Because you don't need to know about the mitochondria of the fucking cell and shit. You know what I'm saying? You
Yes,
don't. You just need to
you
know
don't.
that, like, what you need to do to be in a calorie deficit. Once you go fucking farther than that, you're in the weeds, man. You're like fucking
Yes,
lost. You
yes.
know?
That is when you start
Um,
worrying. That's when you start getting sold supplements and all these other shit,
yes.
all the other
Yeah.
things that you don't fucking need. And you're
You
convinced that you're
know?
broken because you're focused on your cortisol face or your menopause belly or whatever the fuck they're telling you to do to
Mhm.
get rid of those things.
Right. Right.
It's just crazy. And the woman that posted that video too is a PhD in
Right.
microbiology, right? Like and the one woman's like, I'm a nurse. Like okay, like what does that mean? Like this isn't to disparage nurses, but like they're
Oh
nurses
my
are
god.
a very wide field too. Like what kind of a nurse are you? Are you a fat loss nurse or something? Like what the I'm sorry, but this woman that literally does this for a living, who has a PhD in this topic,
Right.
information.
Fucking there's so many Google doctors out there,
Another
Here's
woman was saying
your
like, I
Google
don't
University.
yeah, Google University. This other woman was like, I don't if you need to listen to what other people are telling you from college, then you're stupid and you don't know what you're talking about. Like I am proof. I know it because I'm doing it myself, right? And it's like yeah, I'm glad that's whatever you're doing is working for you, but you can't use that to equate to the population.
Right.
That's where we get it so fucking wrong. Well, it worked for me. I'm glad it worked for you.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm sorry, but you didn't poop your fat out either, like you're trying to say.
That's like saying, like, my grandfather drank every day and smoked every day and
Yes,
never got lung cancer or
right.
liver cancer. Yeah. Okay.
Logical policy.
How many fucking Uncle Clarences are there? Not
Mhm.
many. Okay. He is an anomaly.
Yeah.
Um, mm,
So, yeah, so kind of like wrapping it back to menopause, I suppose. Has there been any big lessons learned for you about weight loss and menopause? Like, especially right now with your bikini prep, mostly.
hmm. No, it's just
No.
like I shouldn't say it's like any other calorie deficit. It's just the steeper and I've been more hungry and it's been more uncomfortable than I'm used to. But other than that, and that's part of like what I'm doing, I think. But as for menopause, no,
Yeah. Okay.
no,
Just have to, I mean, be more brutally consistent, really, is the biggest thing.
it really is.
And exercise and strength
And
training.
more people need to be proactive than reactive. And I'm so glad that I was proactive at 42 and stopped drinking and started strength training and taking care of myself because I really attribute that to how my menopause experience with the ups and downs that I did have when I did get help, it's been pretty smooth sailing,
Mhm. Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
Being
Best
proactive is key
the best time to get yourself ready for menopause is earlier in life. The earlier in life
before it happens.
before it happens.
Yeah, because think about it. Think about if I would have, just kept doing what I was doing and drinking into my late 40s. God, I can't imagine. I was like in the throes of my night sweats and like double the anxiety. Imagine, along with drinking, right? Imagine trying to get your shit together that like during all that,
Right.
you know? It's like Don't try to get your shit together in the shitstorm. Be
Yes.
prepared for the shitstorm so it's not as bad.
Prepare for the shitstorm. Yeah, I like it.
Yes, yes, don't, because then it's going to be immensely harder for you, obviously, because you are drinking, you're menopausal, you're overweight, and you're frustrated, you're stressed. It's a lot harder to get a handle on things.
Yeah, the best time to learn how to use a fire extinguisher is not when everything's on fire around you.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
And that's
Absolutely.
that's like with any kind of skill, any type of tool that we're trying to build, because that's what we're
Hmm.
doing, right? Is we're building out skills and tool belts.
Yeah.
The best time to learn how to use a tool is not when you need it. It's before it. It's
Hmm.
before you need it, because then when time comes, you're like, "Oh, I've done this before."
Hmm.
And
Yes.
it's more automatic. You don't have to fight against yourself as much. You don't have to second
Hmm.
guess yourself, struggle as much.
Yeah. You got to get out of your own way. You got to stop being so stubborn and just fucking do it. I feel like a lot of women are just so stubborn and they're just stuck in their ways. You'd
Why do you
say
think that is?
men are stuck in their ways. I think women are
Yeah.
too.
I mean, we're
A
human
hundred
beings.
percent.
I think just human psychology is we don't wanna change. Like, change is scary.
It's like I think a lot of people are just more comfortable with bitching about being uncomfortable rather than just fucking doing the damn thing to get uncomfortable because then you have nothing to bitch about.
Mm, damn. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people like to catastrophize their life, and that was me when I was drinking. So maybe if you're a drinker and you catastrophize everything, that could be part of it. Everyone was against me, and you know what I'm saying? It's like the drinking made everything worse.
Yeah. It's like dropping a match on an open gas can.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It
Yep.
really is.
Yeah. Stop catastrophizing and searching for so many people just keep searching for issues. There's got to be something wrong instead of searching for solutions.
Solutions. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Be
because that
solution oriented.
well, if we're convinced that we have a problem, that's not our fault.
Mhm.
And that might sound harsh, but, that takes away, like, the responsibility in a way to do the thing.
True.
And we talked about this so fucking much in this.
Yeah. And like for like solution oriented, I feel like people like let's say because I reposted my pivot video today. It's like anything that happens, right? You don't think of a solution, you immediately catastrophize and say fuck it, you know? Like, oh, I left my meal prep at home. Fuck it. I'm just going to go to the drive-through and that's not a good analogy because that would be a situation in which you may have to do that. So that was not correct.
Well, no, I mean, it could be correct, though,
um
because you don't have to go through the drive-through.
True, 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 true. But it
You
could
don't
be
have to.
any situation and
Yeah.
you don't you let it just everything go to shit. You don't pivot. You don't like just do the next right thing,
You just roll over. Fuck
you
it.
know? Yeah, exactly. It's like
Yeah.
instead of, you thinking of a solution for whatever issue you might have, let's see, I don't fucking know. You didn't meal prep your food for a night and you came home and you're hungry, you don't know what to do. Well, maybe you have something in the fucking freezer like you should have had already ready. Like you have that emergency freezer stash. So,
I've got car snacks, right? I keep
yeah,
snacks in my glove box for
yeah.
that reason, and that's something I'm working on with a lot of my clients right now,
Mhm.
is the weekends especially, so pre-planning for the weekends.
Yeah.
A lot of clients, and I'm sure your clients are the same way, do great during the week, but then it's the weekends that they struggle with. It's because we're outside of our
Mhm.
normal routines. We're sleeping a little bit longer. We don't have to go to work. We don't have that,
Yeah.
and we're not planning for the weekend. So we're at a free for all of what am I going to eat? Okay, well, what do I have available? Well, I've got a muffin for
Mhm.
breakfast, and then I'll swing through and grab a burger through the drive-through and fries later, and then
Mhm.
maybe I'll do like a nutritious meal for something for dinner, and
Yeah.
then it's like, well, I ate healthy yesterday because they think about this at dinner they had, you know,
Right. Yeah. We
pre-planning.
just pre-planning. We just did a challenge with our one-on-one clients for a week, Monday through Friday, where we had them make all their meals at home for 5 days. So
Yeah,
no drive-through, no Uber Eats, no takeout, nothing. And I want to read some of the things that people say because a lot of people
sure,
eat out a lot.
yes. Well, we did an entire fucking podcast on it. Like,
We did, didn't we? So that was pretty interesting.
I also like eating fast food for most people, I like nobody needs to eat fast food. I'm going to clarify this and say that nobody is making you eat fast food. It's not by no means a necessity. But if you are
Right.
going to eat fast food, you could still try to make it more nutritious.
Yeah.
And I can give an example while you're looking up some of these comments here.
Okay.
Um, I think it was just last week, Sarah and I ordered Uber Eats. Okay, calling
Uh-huh.
myself out here. We ordered Uber Eats and we got Taco Bell, but I got actually their chicken cantina bowl, which is only I think it was like 540 calories.
Ooh. Uh-huh.
It had vegetables in it. It had beans in it. It
Mm.
had some avocado in it with the guacamole. 540 calories, and it had shredded chicken in there. So it was for fast food. That was a pretty macro friendly meal.
Yeah.
Instead of getting the nachos Belgrande, I got the Cantina chicken bowl instead. Right. So making a
Mhm.
sensible swap when you are in those situations is also fucking half the battle.
Yeah.
You don't have to say, "Well,
Absolutely.
I'm fucked. I just gonna go through a drive-through."
Right.
Cool. Well, make a better choice when you're going through drive-through then.
Exactly. Yep. Okay, so I'm just gonna read them. I'm not gonna give names or anything.
Sure.
So this challenge I learned that I can choose the harder option of prepping or planning, even when the easier one is put right in front of me. I can choose each day. It's not about one day, it's about my overall mindset.
Yes. I love that. It's not about one day.
Right? Okay, so this is from another one. I learned that sometimes going through the drive-through, even if it's just to get a Coke Zero, is an automatic thing sometimes. I caught myself a couple of times thinking, oh, I'm going here now without even really thinking about it, if that makes sense. I also found that it saves a lot of money and it also saves me anxiety I feel around the tracking of these things. I honestly didn't miss it as much as I thought I would because I would typically grab something once a week.
Nice.
So that makes sense with the anxiety. A lot of people have so much anxiety. I get a lot of questions like, how do I track when eating out? It's like, well, if you didn't eat out so much, you wouldn't have to fucking worry about it.
Right. If you're eating out once a month, it's probably not something you need to worry about.
Yeah, and you're probably not so stressed about it. But
Right.
now I'm coming to realize the people that are super stressed are the ones that eat out all the time.
Mhm.
So here's another one. What I learned from this challenge is that eating from home is not that hard and it pays dividends. I was able to eat from home, nobody around me really cared, and I felt good about accomplishing my week. So when I did want a slice of pizza on a Friday, I didn't feel guilty about it. I didn't overeat because I'm getting more used to what it is supposed to feel like to feel normal instead of overly full. This is coming from someone that actually came into our program eating out all the time. So this is a big, big deal for her,
Okay. Okay.
which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, that's what I got so far. So maybe try it. I don't know. I think it's a good lesson to learn. I think a lot of people just rely too much on eating out and drive-throughs.
Convenience foods.
Yeah, make your meals at home for once. Prep, plan, and don't make it hard on yourself, but
I
have that
think
stuff just ready.
people get prepping, like meal prepping, wrong because they think it needs to be some big extravagant thing. Like I
Yeah.
gotta have 5 meals, 6 meals out, perfectly
Mhm.
prepared. They've all gotta be nutritious, right?
Right.
You need to simplify it and make it easier
Oh
to
yeah.
actually adhere to.
Seriously. Seriously.
Like, why can't we
That's
just
why I
do protein prep, right? Prep your
Yeah,
protein.
I get my chicken in the beginning of the week. I shred it right now. I'm just shredding a bunch of chicken with ranch seasoning and salsa, and I have that all week for my salads.
Also
Literally, all
chicken.
I don't have
Yeah,
to think
nice.
about it. And then I cut pre-cut veggies in my veggie chopper I got from Amazon. I have that ready, and I just put that on top of my greens. You just that's ready. And then like everything else, my dinner protein prep is already ready. My grilled
Mhm,
vegetables for dinner are made in the beginning of the week. You just have to just make a bunch of it. And when you want what you need, you get it out of the fridge and you heat it up.
mhm.
It
Exactly.
could be different, but you still have all the things made so you can mix and match what you want to eat.
Yeah. Like, I guess I call those, like, foundational foods. Always have
Yeah.
those things that make your life easier,
Mhm.
and it doesn't need to be, Sunday evening. You don't have to dedicate an entire Sunday to meal prep.
No. No.
You can either literally like, when I do meal prep and prepare meals, I don't even prepare meals usually. I just make more of what I'm already eating, or I'll
Mhm.
do a midweek prep as well. Like, I'll do a midweek protein source prep,
Yeah.
and I almost always got, like, steamable veggies, on standby to throw into and not
Yeah.
hang out. Steamable veggies, steamable rice. I think I've been seeing you use, like, the
I use
steamable jasmine
microwave
rice or
rice.
something, right? Like, so
Oh
yeah, the
yeah.
minute rice, like, use
And
that.
it's you worried about tracking your calories with rice? Because that's another question. Get the single serving cups. That's all you gotta do. You don't have to worry about it. You just nuke it for 1 minute.
What's the worry about checking rice?
How do I
Raw
weigh
run.
it dry? Do I weigh it cooked? Because people make big batches of it.
That is one of the biggest barriers that I do here is I don't know how to track my meals that I'm making. I don't know how
And
to
then
track
they don't track them.
right, so they just don't do it. So we just because we don't know how we're not gonna do it, that doesn't compute.
Can you
Because a lot
imagine,
of
like,
babies don't know how to fucking walk at first, but they fucking figure it out. They bump
right?
their heads
Your
along the way.
child is in school, right? And they come, the teacher sends them home. Your son just didn't want to do it because he didn't know how. What would you
Yeah,
say?
like, what the fuck?
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
Tell yourself that. The fuck are you
mhm,
doing?
yeah,
Come on, you're an adult. Be an adult and learn a new thing. Okay.
yes, absolutely. Learning is awesome, I love learning.
I
Like,
know,
learn
especially,
something new every day, one thing every day, like, challenge yourself.
yeah, especially if you know that it may be your ticket. It may be your ticket, right? I remember, I'll never forget when Jordan Syatt was like, "Are you weighing and measuring your food in grams on a food scale?" And I was like, "No, should I be?" Because I was, like, frustrated. I wasn't he's like, "Yeah. How do you know
Absolutely.
what portions you're using?" I was like, "Oh." And, that was a fucking game changer for me, and I wish before I woulda known that fucking years ago. Because,
Sure.
you know what I mean? Here I am, like, I'm eating so much healthy brown rice and so much healthy avocado, and yeah,
Mhm. Just because it's a quote unquote "healthy food" doesn't mean that it's not gonna make you fat, I guess, right? If you're eating too much of it. I
right.
That's what I hear a lot is where I guess I'm going with this is, "Oh, I'm eating healthy,
I'm
but
eating clean.
I'm eating clean, but I'm not losing fats, I'm not losing weight." Well, you're still
Yeah.
eating too much of it then, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't
It's
matter. You can
it's
eat the
it's
cleanest
it's
diet in the
fact.
world. You can eat nothing but fruits, vegetables, and fucking dry ass chicken breast, and
Yeah.
you can eat too much of it, and you'll still get fat.
That's what you gotta ask yourself. It's like, I'm doing all these things, but I'm not losing any fat." Well, take a look at your nutrition and, what are you not tracking? What are you doing that you shouldn't be doing? Like, there's always something.
Right. There's always something.
Like, we like to ask, like, what is, something that you're doing really well, and what is something that you can work on?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yep.
I know I can work on my bites, lips, licks, and tastes. Okay.
Most people can.
Mhm.
Those little BLTs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Which I had to fucking catch myself in the beginning of this whole prep. I
Did you?
started coming close to licking the fucking spoons, and it's easy to just fucking dib dab and fucking blah, 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 and it's
Mhm.
like it's really like an impulse thing where you have to fucking like it's almost like okay, you
Yeah.
know,
Right.
one of those things.
You gotta yeah, you gotta take yourself off that automatic
You
pilot.
have to be aware.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what it is. A lot of us are on autopilot. We don't really know what we're doing, and that's why a lot of the times coaches shine that flashlight to show you things that you may not have seen.
Yeah. I think we just said this with Renee last week is like the first step of change is awareness.
Mhm.
Awareness isn't a
Yep.
bad thing. And that's where tracking your calories for an X amount of time when you're starting out can be very, very beneficial because,
Mhm.
and that means everything too. I challenged a client a couple weekends ago. She didn't track her alcohol on the weekend when she was out with her friends and stuff. I was like, why not? You had it.
Yeah.
You crushed your week, you know? So next time you do go
It
out,
didn't happen, Matt. That's
right.
why.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, it still happened. Like now we're trying to act like it didn't happen. So now you're creating that guilt shame cycle too on top of that. Right?
Mhm.
So no, so I like next time you drink, track the fucking alcohol. Be
Yeah.
mindful of it, but track it. And
Mhm.
she came back to me. She didn't plan on having some drinks, but she had a couple drinks with her mom, I think, or something. And she's like, I tracked it this. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Mhm.
Now we're cooking because now we're starting to
Yeah,
create awareness.
exactly.
Yeah. Now we're realizing like I didn't actually have 3 glasses. I had 6 and that doubled my calories, right? That took me out of my
Mhm.
calorie deficit. We don't
Mhm.
wanna
Yeah.
sometimes we just don't wanna be confronted with that either.
No. I mean, fucking I know all about that. I mean, queen of no, I only had a couple. Are you kidding me?
Right. Well, everybody knows what a couple means.
Yeah. A couple? You mean like a half fucking fucking six
Couple
pack of twisted
right.
teas?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
6 packs? Yeah.
that was my thing. That was before the Trulies and all the fun drinks they have now. That was like the twisted tea chick in the summer. Oh,
Got it.
ugh. Oh,
Yeah, I never got into twisted
oh
teas.
my
I
god,
went
talking about
hard
fucking heartburn.
I went hard on the Trulies there for a while, the White Claws when they came out.
Did you?
Everybody was obsessed with them when they first came out, but that thankfully, I'm far removed from that shit now, so,
Oh, ugh.
yeah. Yeah. Well, damn, we just went in, we went at this for an hour. we didn't have any talking points for
You
today.
guys,
We
that's
just
awesome.
we always have good conversations. So
I know, right?
mhm.
Fuck
Good
yeah.
wrapping point then. So to recap here, we have our meet and greet coming up July 12th in San Diego. You
San
can
Diego.
RSVP with the link in the comment, or not the link in the comments.
Please come if you're in the area. So
Yes, we want to see
SD is a
y'all.
large area, you guys, and Torrey Pines, La Jolla, that's by a lot of stuff. So come.
Yeah, come. We want to see you. Let's hang out. Let's have fun. Do some cool things together. Get the community
Yes.
involved. That's what it's all about. That's why I love
Yes.
doing these meet and greets. People getting to know each other, meeting each other.
Yeah,
Like what happened in the last one. Everybody was talking about doing the 5K and stuff together. So that's some cool
exactly.
shit.
So
All right.
cool.
Good.
All right.
Good stopping point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hope you enjoyed this episode, so why not share with a friend who needs to hear it? Send us a DM on Instagram or email us at cutthecrappod@gmail.com and join our Patreon at patreon.com/cutthecrappodcast. As always, we appreciate you and thanks for being here.